All right, guys, we're back. If you could do me a favor, first off, thank you for tuning in and watching the show, and I hope you're enjoying all that good stuff. But get on Twitter if you've got Twitter. Retweet the BaseTradeTV tweet we just put out there about the grand finals coming up. MaNa versus Hush. It's a PvP. It's a best of 5 here for the Corsair Cup grand finals. This is also one of the rare times we'll see a PvP inside finals. First map, though, is going to be Cactus Valley. And let's get into the game screen.
Yeah. PvP, a pretty rare matchup overall.
Rare. I don't know. We funny enough, like as much as we make jokes, we do end up seeing a lot of the Protoss players seated against each other, usually in earlier parts of brackets. So maybe rare in terms of casting, but certainly not rare in terms of happening. But whoa, I don't know what it is. Yellow looks super gold right now, and I'm loving it. In the top right, playing for Team Liquid, busting at that yellow, it's MaNa.
In the top left is the teal Protoss. He is Hush.
Hush. All right, so someone in the chat's asking, how does the prize pool work? Third and fourth place get $10. First and second get $60 and $20 respectively. But of course, most importantly, each of the placements have points attached to them, leading to the monthly finals, which is a $400 invite-only tournament. And that's actually, this is the third and final week of qualifiers, you could mark it as. Third and final week of weeklies, as the next Corsair Cup will be the monthly final, which I think is after we get back from Ting. I'll have to look on our calendar. I don't actually know off the top of my head.
Sure.
Actually, it's definitely when we get back. There's no time for us to do it before we leave.
What other time is there?
Yeah, so... Shut up, yo! Mimsy!
What?
Nothing. So anyways, point is, yeah, Corsair Cup's got some pretty dandy prizing. And again, thanks to Corsair and Twitch for sponsoring this and making it happen.
Yeah. Not to call that specific question out or anything, but I do remember that there was a time, and there still are people that really just scoff at prize pools for weeklies, whether it's 200 or 500, and that has always kind of boggled my mind, I guess, even back to when the prize pools were like only 100. But it's you know, we used to have like huge discussions on cast before, where we'd bring up Snoot, and how Snoot just says like, I don't know, it's still worth like the time invested into actual competitive practice. But a lot of people would say like, was it worth $10? Why would you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Why would you waste the time? And prize pools are like really good nowadays. And I think they were totally worth before anyway.
I mean, the thing is, we've talked about this too. At the end of the day, we could cast replays from latter games we get from players and probably still pull in like say 2,000 viewers, right? What's nice about this, though, is however you want to scoff or maybe admire the prize pools for this, whichever side of the coin you're on, I'm just proud that at the end of the day we can make content and still help the players out at the same time. Because it sucks. We're seeing more and more people just kind of drop off and say this isn't worth my time, or I don't want to go full-time at StarCraft anymore, I'm going back to school, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, we can help provide a paycheck, whether it's big or small. I mean, $10, sure, it's not much, but $60 3 times a month with a possible $200 for the first place in the monthly finals, like, that's not bad money.
Yeah. Well, we have a little bit of a scuffle here. More important, I would say, is that Hush is getting a Stargate right now. Oh, wait, did MaNa? No, I didn't think so. Yeah, he's getting a Stargate right now. MaNa's still just going for gateway production. So their nexus end up being pretty similar time. In fact, MaNa's even a little bit later, actually. But will he have his units in position for this Oracle? You should. I think most Protosses are... Oh, it's not an Oracle, it's Phoenix. Just kidding, then. Either way, he should have had a defense against it. Protosses are pretty used to this build.
I really like the Stargate in terms of...
Hey, that's not your mothership.
No, but as I say, I really like the Stargate in terms of like what it can do. Oh, there you go. Well, Phoenix may or may not be a problem early on. Later on, there's such a good way to shut down disruptors. And some of the Korean PvPs we've been watching where that specifically, like you have a clutch Stargate made at like 12 minutes because you can't catch up on disruptors. Like those types of games for me always are super enticing and super awesome to watch. But I feel like when you go for it right away, it's harder to get away with those things because your opponent's already prepared for it.
MaNa did immediately go to the main base to protect that mothership core, realizing that it was quite low on health. So the Phoenix is not going to get an opportunity for a freebie. The front is also still protected by a numerous number of units, and Hush is not going to get any damage done. I do think that going for the Stargate early on is going to be tricky, as if the other Protoss player does respond very well and doesn't take any damage, any at all, that puts you just in a very difficult spot. You have a Stargate that hasn't been useful, that doesn't lead to anything too useful, unless it's like really late game as you're talking with the Disruptors, and in return you've given up Twilight Council tech, which is usually very important in PvP. Although we have seen at least one game and heard rumors of other games, I guess, where Void Rays ended up being the intentional composition makeup in a PvP. I don't know if that's what Hush is planning. I don't know the guy's PvP, but he is getting a Void Ray right now.
Well, as the Void Ray comes out, we'll see whether it ends up being super effective or not. One of the things for sure, though, is like if MaNa, for example, stays on like a lot of stalkers and that's like his primary composition, that's what he wants. They can deal with Void Rays when they're in lower numbers, but not when they get higher. Like when you start having like 5 or 6 Void Rays, the prismatic alignment damage is so good, even stalkers can't really take more than a few seconds of damage before crumbling.
Yeah.
But just going back on something we had kind of briefly touched on, and I want to emphasize again, I don't think that this matchup is going to be a lot about build orders or like counters and things like that, but a lot of PvP has to do with like the way you control your units. And we saw this sort of exemplified through MaNa before when he was fighting against Zest, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna like 2-0 Zest easy peasy. It's not even gonna be close. Like he's playing off server in a PvP. I got this." And I'm wondering, because Hush is going for this composition that relies on, you know, first off, Graviton beams through the Phoenix and Void Rays not messing up the timing of their prismatic alignments. If MaNa's able to just out blink and out micro, does that beat any amount of air composition that Hush could possibly go for?
I don't think so. I was actually going to talk about the specific situation we have here, which the control thing, it does come down to like, you know, Blink Stalker versus Blink Stalker battles, paying attention to your army units. Literally, Disruptors are like one of the most micro-intensive thing you're going to get to in PvP. But with this army composition, if MaNa, you know, thinking, oh, I have enough Stalkers now, let me counterattack and force you off of a third base, he would get slaughtered. Like, the Immortal Void Rays would counter the Blink Stalkers, unless MaNa was that good with his control and, like, had an overwhelming amount of Blink Stalkers. But of course, MaNa also goes for third base and adds on a Templar Archives. And I think is playing to the later stages of a PvP where you are facing someone who went Stargate and stayed on Stargate. And you did not. Because I don't think we haven't seen too many Stargate games either, but, you know, Phoenix versus Phoenix, that can be a blast. That's also very micro-intensive. Yeah, with MaNa has right now, Blink is almost going to seem like a useless upgrade. He got it, he couldn't use it. It maybe scared the Phoenixes once or twice, but he's going to have to adapt off of it. And he is. He's not getting caught in a tech trap.
Yet. Maybe.
Sure. Archons need to actually get underneath units to hit them. They don't have that big of a range, so it can still be complicated to use them against mass Void Rays.
Whoa,
they are better.
What if you research Blink on DTs and then DTs merge to an Archon and then they can still blink?
What?
That would be so disgusting, actually.
Yeah. We have not only a second Stargate, which, you know, if he's going to commit to Void Rays, makes sense, but also a Fleet Beacon. So, you know, maybe Carriers, maybe Tempests? That'd be interesting. And I fear that if he does get to that tier 3 of Stargate, MaNa's just going to have the worst composition. Like, it doesn't matter how many Blink Stalkers you have, how many Archons you have, especially if it's Carriers, because the Archons can never chase the damn things.
Yeah, there's not been a lot of games that have shaped up like this, so I don't really have a lot of recent games we can reference back to. But going really back in time, I'm remembering games like, and this is really, really back in time, games with people like Whiteraw and stuff, we'd see PvPs where, at the time in HOTS, going Void Rays, and this before you could activate them, and they were just really broken. Void Rays on mass couldn't be beaten by much, but mass Archons could do it. And I don't know if the Fleet Beacon technology with what the Mothership is for Cloak and potential Carriers or whatever follows it up are better or not nowadays, but the fact remains, like, at the end of the day, if you've got enough Archons, you will beat air. It's just a question of, like, what's on the ground to support them.
He's getting a mothership, and there are the carriers. Okay, so confirmed carriers. Yeah, if there's enough Archons to get underneath them, it would still go in favor of the Archons, but I'm quite worried. One, there's not enough Archons, and two, that the carriers are going to, well, be played, you know, wisely. If they're just out in the middle of the map and they gotta run away like, oh shit, Archons, and that's kind of on hush. If they're over one of these rock cliffs and they kind of just edge away and the Archons have to derp around it, then that's just MaNa's cross to bear, and he's gonna have a difficult time. But he is moving out now, before the carrier count is high, before they even have a lot of interceptors. And while it's not a lot of Archons, they will be supported by Blink Stalker Warpins. And the Charge Lots could help take care of the Immortals on the ground.
Yeah, to be clear for everyone who doesn't know the dynamic I'm trying to describe here too, it's not that Archons bring the damage. I mean, they do, but they don't have that bonus damage like when hitting Bio, right? It's all about the fact that they've got so many shields that can actually take the hits to fight. Stalkers can't.
Yeah. I mean, MaNa only has so much gas to put into those Archons. That sucks. I know, you know, it's intimidating amounts.
Man, you like can't even see Revelation, I think, if it goes on an Archon.
Be hard, yeah. But the carrier count is starting to rise as a third Stargate has been added and 2 have already popped out. They also have Graviton catapults, so the carriers are, the interceptors coming to them pretty quickly. And MaNa might have missed his opportunity to win with a ground war. It's going to be like, what really sucks too is like it's not like, oh well, I took out his carriers, are really hard to make. They are, don't get me wrong, but like your army is not very cheap either. It's just Protoss in general. So you really have to take a very convincing fight, and then maybe you can play that economic game. As MaNa does have a faster 4th base, and he has his probes already there. Hush is still getting his. But I would say that Hush is getting the better composition as time goes on. If he ever gets maxed out on carriers, I'm actually not sure what MaNa does.
Cries in the fetal position a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Probably. Well, we'll see. Not too many games get to be this long,
yeah,
and as I said, like we haven't seen too many Stargate-based games lately.
I really wish he would have had a Templar with us too. One feedback on that mothership would do so much damage. He's sitting there 200 energy.
That's true, yeah. Unfortunately, the Oracle did not get the Revelation, and he is attacking into MaNa. I think it's just wait to be attacked. Yeah, like that.
This is looking to be a tough fight. Clumps up best he can, but these Archons are not getting hits that they need to. While this goes on, of course, the depths are slaughtering MaNa's natural, so this is going to be MaNa losing his army and his economy, which should mean Hush wins this game. But he does do a considerable amount of damage to Hush too, so maybe this won't just be economy like disadvantage. Zealots are actually doing a really good job over here.
They may get a Nexus. If they were all focusing it, I think they would. It's gonna be questionable now. The army's coming back to help out. But honestly, even if he doesn't get the Nexus, or if he does get the Nexus rather, we still have 2 other mining bases for the Nexus, and the army is still better. Like, MaNa took a really bad trade.
Why? The War Prison was getting out of there alive and then just like ran back into it.
He's like, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But MaNa can't. His army, I think, clear to him as well as us, will not beat Hush's army. So, you know, what do you do?
I guess this is where you contemplate trying base trade. Yeah, because, you know, you might be a little bit more mobile at least, is like what you got going for you. But, yeah, as Hush approaches MaNa's side of the map, like, there's not a bunch of cannons thrown down. There's not a lot of prep for anything, really. And I do wonder how well a bunch of cannons would do. Like, if you had enough of them, hypothetically, kill all the interceptors, right? So, recall is going to be a little bit dangerous, but MaNa's going to back away from it.
Something else that has been experimented with in the past, if you did face a Stargate player in Protoss vs. Protoss, was Storm. Just kind of reaching here, though, because honestly, Storm can help a lot. It also can just look as lame as these Archons do. But it's just the Archons versus the air, and the Archons are not winning.
No, they're really not winning. GG.
GG.
Hush will take the first game in this best of 5.
Carriers are a cool unit.
Yeah, they certainly are. I don't care if the construction noise is too loud, guys. I gotta open the door again. It's so fucking hot in here.
I didn't really think it was that loud last time. I heard it, but...
What's the next map? Time to take some time to stretch here.
Good question.
So
MaNa doesn't know.
I mentioned on stream the other day I'd gone to the casino with my brother, and whatever for our winnings or lack thereof, One thing that was kind of cool that I kept was they gave us this card, right? Here's the thing you use for your betting, and you load this card and all that. But they gave you this like keychain thing to go with it, and the keychain thing like extends so that you can like swipe your card but not lose access to it. It retracts. But then I realized last night this thing's also a ruler, which is actually kind of super handy to have. So this is like a nice thing for my keys, and it's like a free ruler. Plus, it's a fidget tool. Like, it's just fun to fidget with this thing. So
Very cool.
Nice. Can finally measure my dick size, guys. I've always wondered, you know. If I had to guess, it's probably about this big. That says, 12, 14.
When you say this big like that, it makes me imagine you're doing this.
It's this big. I remember telling you about that time I caught a fish zombie girl.
Yes, you did.
Actually, I didn't post this one on Twitter. I got another girl with the counting shoulders though. It's like I've just got a collection of it at this point.
Yeah, your goal is to get every girl with the counting shoulder.
Right? It's just like such a fun icebreaker. Hang on.
But I'm ruining it for you because I'm getting a couple of girls with it. So.
It's okay. I've got backups. Everyone knows about the counting shoulders. So.
I did the fish thing too. I'm stealing all your builds.
Stop it. Stop it. Leave some girls for me, zombie girl. God damn it.
Yeah, I know it's a problem.
Actually, it was a pretty fun time at that party though.
Hush needs a couple minutes.
Look at that delicious looking chicken. I ate this while watching GSL. Okay, if Hush needs some minutes, we're gonna be abusive and play some ads. Sit tight, guys. Game 2 when we get back. Okay, loading directly into the game. We are here for map number 2 in this best of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Corsair Cup Grand Finals. Once again, if you'd like to support the sponsors of the event, you can either buy gear at Corsair through the links down below, or consider subscribing to the channel since we're also powered by Twitch. Whoop whoop. But spawning here in the bottom right side of the map, he's currently down 1 game. It is the European defender, Team Liquid's MaNa.
In the top left is the red Protoss. He is Hush.
Rifkin is everything she was shooting with a girl. I know, guys. I had to pay her like $50 to take that video with me. I needed people to think I knew how to talk to girls in real life. That way, logically speaking, other girls would then think I know how to talk to them, right?
I know you're trying to go for like the paranoid kind of heavy breathing.
No, dude. That was a sincere panic attack. People were on me.
But your panic attacks kind of sound like something else.
Turtles having sex? Yeah, I can't remember. I was watching some streamer. That's their sub alert noise. That stupid clip of like the turtles having sex. I was like, oh.
So good.
Welcome to the sexy stream. Ace Ludes in chat if you got him, guys. Anyways, MaNa may have taken a pretty harsh game for him last time, but that was really something that kind of spiraled out of control from a very passive point of view. And it sucks that that's a possibility to have happened, but I kind of look at that game as almost like a reverse build order loss. It's not that you lost the game early because you built like the wrong building to deal with their units, but you came into that late with the wrong everything.
Yeah.
And you weren't ready to party.
Yeah. I honestly just don't know how you're really supposed to respond to it, because on one hand, we have seen some success in other Void Array-based games with piling on the Blink Stalkers. Like, that has almost worked, or worked once, maybe. And back in the day, when Stargates were the thing to do, like you brought it up versus, like, Zerg, too, but also versus Protoss, you could outnumber the Void Rays early on. You could punish them for trying to go for Stargate, which is, like, slow building and expensive. Whether that was with mass Blink Stalkers or, like, you know, a lot of harassment or something. But really, MaNa just kind of, like, he got the Blink, but realized it wasn't going to work because he realized his opponent was going for Void Rays. So he tried to transfer out of Blink, which would have been fine, but his Archons are still too late, and his attack was still too late, and it just... I think it really had to do a lot with timing. And then if you decide to go for that type of composition, I don't think there's a way to get out of it, unfortunately. Like, if you've already committed to Twilight Council that much, Temple Archives that much, I don't think you can suddenly start trying to match Hush and Stargate. Like, that's not going to work. But, I don't know if Hush is going to do it again. He already has a Robo, not a Stargate, so I guess not. Because I do think that, you know, once you reveal that you're a Stargate player, they're going to be looking specifically for ways to undermine you in the early game because you went for a Stargate. Or the mid game, too.
Well, Mothership Cores could come in and be an interesting scouting tool, but unfortunately, immediately caught by the stalker, says to recall. He did get to poking far enough, though, to confirm that the Nexus was down. This is kind of a big deal because one base play can seriously be overpowering and difficult to deal with. So if he saw no Nexus with that Mothership Core, he might have even considered canceling his. But yeah, his is a little bit behind that of his opponent. Should finish up soon.
Yeah, it was the same last time, too. Wow. What is not the same is Hush having the Warp Prism. He went for like a pretty quick robo, really. I mean, that was... Yeah, I think he was a 1 gate and two other gateways. Should have been paying more attention. Oh well. The point is he has 3 gateways, an Immortal, and a Warp Prism already on the way. So he could do some okay pressure in the front. Or harassment in the back, obviously. But MaNa doesn't have the same units to work with. And in fact, MaNa's going to be going for a Warp Prism first, which... I'm just looking at this push from Hush, and I'm like, oh, MaNa, he's not going to see it coming. He's not going to have his own Immortal. He's still depending on Stalkers and even getting Blink here. That Immortal focus fires, and it's going to be a very good unit. Quite.
Yes. I mean, on the other hand, though, MaNa, well, he might be disadvantaged through not having all of the same units as Hush. He will be advantaged through overcharges, which can be very, very powerful, but... His Warp Prism going across the map might even be better off at home just for a little bit of extra micro. Pick up and drop some of the stalkers and juke out some of those shots, but he focuses down the pylon, so forget what I said about the overcharge advantage. And Hush just storms in looking for a victory, and MaNa is like screwed. He might be able to force field the ramp, but even if he does, that Warp Prism can lift everything over it. GG.
GG.
Whoa.
Oh, brutal.
Okay, so... For MaNa, this is really surprising because we expected his PvP already is pretty good, just objectively speaking. But the fact is that he's losing to the off-server factor is a little bit surprising, I guess.
It is. The first game, I can really just be like, okay, didn't know how Hush is going to play, so give him a pass. But this next game, it was not knowing in the opposite way. It wasn't not knowing the composition, and the late game, it was not expecting an attack so early. So, early versus late. Either way, MaNa caught off guard. Can't deal with it.
Everyone's insisting on playing this stupid fucking clip of mine, and I click on it. It's got 420 views. The number is too perfect. I can't even. I'm like rubbing my head right now.
Just take it as a compliment, man. He said it's so sexy.
Oh no, it was not of that. It's of that stupid when I was building the couch and I had to rub the wall or rub out the scuff I made on the wall. I was hunched over.
What I said still holds true, all right? They just found it so sexy.
Well played. Well played. Well, we're not going to play commercial break because that was such a quick game, but we're going to hop into Newkirk Precinct for this next map. And this is scary because this is MaNa's last life.
Yeah, very quick. I just don't know how he's going to play this, you know? He played one macro game versus Hush, lost. Played one, attempted a macro game and lost to Hush in an early game, so I don't know.
Well, what's cool is if Hush wins this, he'll actually go through to the season finals, which he otherwise would not qualify for. I don't think he's got enough points.
Cool beans?
Cool beans.
Which are gross.
Unless you're talking about jelly beans, because last thing I do is eat a warm jelly bean.
Oh, jelly beans are gross just as is, so let's just stop there.
Jelly beans are fine.
No, they're gross.
No, you
and
see,
sometimes
here's the thing.
you think that they're a black jelly bean, and they're actually a tick.
I knew you were going there with that, and that's why I was trying to stop it.
Because I have two that I can go to. I try and mix it up, because the other thing is that sometimes they're Birdie Pot's every flavored beans.
Actually, yeah, on that logic, you know why you don't like jelly beans? Because you keep choosing to eat the fucking gross video, like the game one where you just like get all the disgusting jelly beans. Just try eating some regular jelly beans. They're pretty yummy.
Jokes aside, regular jelly beans, I hate the texture. I hate that I feel like I'm eating plastic, so I'm not on board.
You eat gum all the time!
That's not eating plastic.
It's eating rubber, which is like
really,
worse
really
than plastic.
Chewy.
Plastic probably is chewy. Have you ever eaten plastic?
I'm thinking of like those hard shell cases plastic. What plastic is chewy? that you eat?
I was thinking like plastic wrap, you know, like saran wrap or whatever.
Well, it wouldn't really be chewy, would it? It would just kind of be like stringy.
That'd be like bunched up in a ball and like chewed on it.
Maybe that's why Apollo likes to do it.
Okay, well, it's game number 2 in the finals. It is a best of 5, and this guy here in the bottom right's on his last life. Playing for Team Liquid and looking for a comeback. It's MaNa.
In the bottom left is the red Protoss. He is Dust. Hush.
Again, it'd be a pretty cool win for Hush. It gets him to the monthly finals, but more importantly, like puts a point on the board for Team Dust as well.
I think Hush, yes, he did. I think this is what Hush did last game. So most of the PvPs you'll see are going to have double gateway openers, like what MaNa is doing, because that's just the way that it really boiled down to after the initial Legacy of the Void PvP experimental phase. But actually, there's like another build that you can do that's been making the rounds more and more, it seems, which is the one gateway expand into like the, well, like last game, the Robo and the double gateway. As long as you weather the storm early on, and the wall will partially help with that Hush has now set up, then you do get a bit of a boost. So, or you can not go for the Nexus, you can actually just go for the Stargate earlier too. Point is, mix up a build here, and MaNa thought that Hush was going to go for a Nexus, so he blocks it out. Unfortunately, he did not see the main base. Well, he didn't see the Stargate, but he saw that both gases had, I think, all the probes in it, so he might also think there's a Stargate. May not be too tricked, but I don't know about these other two gateways. MaNa. Well, I would hate for MaNa to go out in a series because he didn't scout twice in a row, or scout correctly, or anticipate correctly.
There's got to be this degree, though, of process of elimination, too, in terms of he's blocked this Nexus long enough. You got to be wondering, well, what's Hush doing with that extra money, you know?
That is true, yeah. And again, I think he does the Stargate, then the anticipation of the gateway should be there as well. And MaNa is also going for roughly the same build. I mean, he's added on 2 gateways and he's added on the Stargate. There's some really mirror matchup things happening here. The Corona Boost went into, the Stargate, so Warp Gate isn't done.
Oh, denies the recall and kills the Mothership Core.
Whoa.
That was nice.
Whoa, man. Yeah,
Smooth
that was
moves.
nice.
Smooth moves.
They're both doing the exact same thing right now, so, you know, at this point, anything going bad is actually really bad. Hush. Oh, did he? He might have pylon blocked MaNa's natural. Yeah, I guess he canceled it. So really mirror games here, but I don't know why MaNa is going for an Oracle. He saw that there were Phoenixes, didn't he? Well, he saw there was a Stargate. Whoa, he didn't see there was a Stargate! How?
Wait, through all of that really didn't peek over? No, he didn't. You're right. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. So he has no, like, oh, man. I thought that maybe, like, the thing is, I thought that maybe even he would anticipate the Stargate just, like, as, like, oh, I blocked your Nexus, like, what were you gonna do? But I think by giving him the Oracle, it's very clear that he didn't. And he didn't. Oh, no. This is gonna run right into that Phoenix. And it's just gonna be a waste. Like, you can't run away with an Oracle.
Well, that feels horrible if you're in MaNa's shoes right now. He was relying on this to do a lot, too, after losing that Mothership. Core.
2 probes.
I mean, on the flip side of this, though, MaNa, if he really wanted to go into Phoenix production right now, he could and get even through on a second Stargate. And we've seen people do some cool moves. You know, I will say of all time, the coolest comeback from being behind a Phoenix move I've ever seen still goes out to Rotterdam, popping out those hallucinated Phoenixes to juke his opponent into taking a bad fight. But honestly, with the Nexus timings not being so far off, I guess Hush is still pretty ahead. I'll take that back.
Yeah, this is just a tough game for MaNa. And, I mean, this game, it wasn't because of a lack of, well, yeah, the Oracle is because of a lack of scouting, but it was also just, you know, they went for very mirrored builds, and MaNa ended up getting the worst trade by losing his Mothership Core and his Stalker. You know, that already started off on the wrong foot, and then you combine the Oracle with the later Nexus, and, well, it's not too surprised to see MaNa proxying a gateway to try and attack here.
Yeah, I guess feeling forced is his only option left. It would be all in. Oh, Darius is giving me some updates. I'm mistaken. I didn't realize Hush had played in previous Corsair Cups. Apparently, even if he loses, he'll have enough points to qualify for the monthly finals or the season finals.
Oh.
Interesting.
I do remember casting Hush, but I thought it was the Elima League. So.
Yeah, same. That's the problem, I guess, when you cast so many weekly things, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, the Phoenixes did just see that, I believe. So now Hush knows to get a second pylon. I think he already scouted just the intention with his, Phoenix is scouting the main base anyway, so it's already done. And he has his units on the front lines. Oh, God. Having to retreat already doesn't look so great. Only one overcharge was popped. Hush was being pretty conservative with that. Tries to block with his own shade, but it didn't quite work out. Just ends up chasing. Mana's not going to commit.
Side note, by the way, actually I'll hold this for the moment as the attack commences. I'll squeeze it in really quick. I guess I was going to announce this at the end of stream, but just to bring it up here while we're still in game. Corsair Cup days are changing for next month. Just for those who haven't seen us talk about this already. So this might be one of the, if not the last Monday casts of the Corsair Cup, and we'll be moving these to Fridays. It's
gonna be so weird, man.
Yeah, it's to accommodate our own schedule, but maybe it works out better. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yes, we will. No more late parties on Sunday night. If that ever happened. Picking up this Sentry's not a bad idea. I mean, one is using Guardian Shield for mana, but he picks up Stalkers instead.
It still crowd controls a lot of damage from the fight, and I think for Hush, like, he's still going to take the better fight because of those Immortals he's got.
Yeah.
Actually, some of them aren't attacking right now, so a little bit awkward.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 2 Immortals, and there's only like 6 Stalkers left over. I think Hush has got this, and if he's got this, then he's got the game.
He's up 11
+1
workers.
Mm-mm-mm.
At this point, too, yeah, he can just warp in and match mana unit for unit and still probably be better off for it. I do like the choice for Zealots in this instance, but I really don't think Mana's going to have enough. I don't think he can possibly get enough.
Pretty surprising to see Mana go down 3-0. A variety of games as well, so Hush was not just finding one weakness in Mana.
Yeah. GG.
Gee.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hush is going to be your champion today of the Corsair Cup. Mana will walk away today with $20 in prizing, but Hush will get $60. And of course, most importantly, he has already, but definitely now, for certain, secured his spot to the monthly finals. Woo! $400 over there. I don't know all of who's qualified. There is a link publicly to a Google Doc that you guys can see if you really want to go look into it yourselves, but that will conclude the tournament today. We're going to play a commercial break, say some goodbyes, and be back shortly. So stick around, and we'll see you guys here in a few minutes. Hey guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Took a little bit longer than expected, but yeah, that's it for the cast today. So, hey, Zombie Grub, how's it going?
Oh, it's going fine for me, but
I saw.
Fortunately, some people are not with the toofs.
So, do you want to explain what the deal with this is? Because I don't have the heart to do it.
So, this happens sometimes. The mods work very hard, and they work every day, and we're very appreciative of them, so don't go blaming any one of them. But one of the mods did accidentally pay out wrong. The difference between 1 and 2 was the options, and people who actually bet on Mana, who actually lost, were awarded Partoofs that they should not have been, and those who bet on Hush just lost their Partoofs. And there's no way to fix it, unfortunately, so it just is kind of one of those things that happens like once every 6 months or something. Like, the mods are very good, and we cast almost every day, so just take it in stride if you please. Yeah,
apologies to anyone who feels really, really wronged by this. If you contact us, maybe we can give you some Partoofs or something, but it is a once in a while thing. So, yeah. I was actually scrolling up while you're talking. Like, was it the new guy? Because I know, like, usually it's the new mod who does it, but no, it was Dom. Way to go, Dom. Gah.
Gosh.
Spend less time photoshopping me into a baby pregnant lady and then more time on paying out the bets rate. Am I right? Jeez.
Truly just karma.
No, but sorry that happened, guys. Anyways, we do come back, though, to wrap the stream up and tell you that we'll be back later tonight with the Elima League. So tonight's Elima League cast will be one of our last casts together. The end. And then BaseTradeTV's falling apart.
Yes, that's true. And then on top of that, I'd tell you that I have to leave that cast probably a little bit early.
Oh, why is that?
My flight is at 1 or like 12:45 p.m. or something, and because the Elima League moved forward an hour, it's a little close now.
Okay, well we'll find. It's fine if I've got to finish on my own. I can. My poor canker sore that makes it difficult to talk, and whatever. It's fine. You can abandon me. I understand. No, it's
Thanks,
all good.
Rifkin.
No, it's all good.
You're the best, Rifkin.
Anyways, yeah, so tonight we'll be back with the Elite League, and then that's kind of it. I might be back for VSL. We may just skip it entirely. But the point is, we're prepping for the live event, guys. This whole week is dedicated to getting ready for the Ting Offline Finals. It's going to be a blast. At last check, there's about 113 or so people that are registered on the Eventbrite. So hopefully and ideally, even half those people show up live. We're going to have a good time. The space is great. I think there's going to be some fun giveaways too, and some fun stuff to do with the fans who are attending. I know Jesse wants to challenge people and have them fight them, stuff like that. But yeah, the finals is going to be great. Anyways, as we had mentioned before, just to end the stream with this very important announcement, the Corsair Cup and the BTSL are going to be swapping dates going forward. So the Corsair Cup will be on Fridays and the BTSL will be on Mondays. This helps avoid conflicts for a lot of players who couldn't pick and choose between, like, for example, VSL and otherwise. And maybe there'll be some problems if the SSL is a big issue. We can still find different dates and we can still move things around. But for now, we're just trying to find a new way to do the schedule, because at the way it's currently going, we're not going to have a lot of players who can play in both events because they're going to be playing other events too. We'd like to try and make sure everybody can play. And you guys, the fans, I mean, we're here daily. You're going to see us at one way or the other. So that being said, we're done. So make sure to sub to the channel if you want to support Twitch and us, because they are sponsoring us, which is great. Make sure to buy Corsair Gear if you want to get love that way too. I think we got Tom_, but Moon Foley also was a new sub we just missed. Thank you very much for that subscription. We do appreciate you. Zombie Grub, are you doing a stream with pizza and bananas, or what's the plan with that? What's going on?
I'm gonna try this. I'm doing it.
All right. So what's the plan? You go buy some food, you be back in like an hour type thing, or what?
Yeah. Well, buying the food probably take like half an hour, and then I got to try and set up the stream. So probably like an hour 30 before I go live.
Okay. So basically be back to watch gross stuff from Zombie Grub. For me, follow the channel. Follow the Twitters of both of us, guys. At ZG Gaming for her. I don't know which way to point. At RIF_KNGZ for me. And of course at BaseTradeTV. But that wraps everything up. So have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll see you later tonight for the Elima League, which is actually how many hours from now? Let's be precise for our viewers.
13.
13 hours from now. No, 14 and a half hours from now. You were way off. Unless Team Liquid's wrong. I don't know. Anyways, 14 and a half hours. See you guys tonight. Have a good one. Bye-bye.